Time now for Sid 6-0. This is where I get 60 seconds to talk about stuff that I like. Thank you. The Toronto Blue Jays had an opportunity last night to drive a stake through Baltimore's playoff heart. A win by the Jays would have left the Orioles 5.5 games back of a playoff spot. But that didn't happen. Not only did the Jays let Baltimore up off the mat in theory, but they riled them up at the same time. Top of the 7th inning, former Blue Jay Bryan Baker got into a chirping match with the Jays dugout after a Matt Chapman strikeout. Things got interesting here. Dugouts cleared. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. eventually would have to be restrained. You could tell Baker wants in with the dugout. Dugout empties. John Schneider out. He's the biggest guy there. You'll see Vladdy is super intense. He has to be restrained. Teoscar is then disrobed. He's so angry. He wants that Baker. Past this, nothing else happened. John Schneider got thrown out. It's not good. That's worst case scenario for the Jays last night. Don't give Baltimore life. Don't let them get up emotionally. Just don't. Final game of the series tonight. Alek Manoah throws for the Jays on Sportsnet. Could be interesting. Our good friend from Sportsnet590 The Fan, Shoaib Ali, is joining us from Blue Jays Talk. He's fantastic. Shoaib, good morning to you. Maiden voyage here on BT. We appreciate you. What did you make of the brouhaha last night? Always fun, a little baseball fight.
First of all, I always wonder why the bullpens don't just fight out there in the outfield rather than running all the way to the mound.
Great idea. Great idea.
But Bryan Baker pointing into the dugout, clearly riling some guys up. I got to say, Teoscar Hernandez is one of the most mild-mannered Blue Jays you'll ever meet, especially compared to some of these other guys. That John Schneider managed to get out of the dugout and restrain Teoscar, it's probably a good thing, but some of the quotes coming out of the Blue Jays clubhouse last night were pretty spicy, including Vladimir Guerrero Jr. saying something like, is Bryan Baker, does he feel like he's a superhero or something? It's pretty great. So I am afraid that you're right, that maybe they have riled the Orioles up tonight. But the nice thing is that tonight they have Alek Manoah on the mound, and he is what you call your stopper, which is always good to have.
Now, the thing with Manoah, and Show, you know this better than anyone, there is some intensity to how he goes about his business as well. Tonight is a business trip for him. Listen, I don't care what happened last night. If you leave taking 3 or 4 from Baltimore, you've done some serious damage. Is Manoah going to focus in or maybe get involved in some of that as well?
I think Manoah, whenever it comes down to it, when it gets down to brass tacks, he is a guy who, he drips the leadership. Like you said, super intense guy, very focused, but he takes these kinds of big games seriously. We saw it a couple weeks ago with against Shohei Ohtani. We saw it again just last week as well. So I think in these big situations, when it calls for it, Alek Manoah is going to deliver because he has delivered for the Blue Jays his entire career, his debut in Yankee Stadium all season this year. Alek Manoah is, I love using the word big game pitcher. Alek Manoah is the biggest kind of big game pitcher there is, and the Blue Jays are lucky to have him.
Before we go, speaking of big games, Bo Bichette did it again last night. 4 home runs technically in his last 2 games. He's not going to keep up this pace. But and we got about 30 seconds here. If he stays confident, game changer, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Sid, he is at the point now where he is actually hitting as good as he did to end 2021. And considering the season he's had in 2022, that's very impressive. So he can keep it up between now and the first week of October when the season ends on the 5th. I think Blue Jays fans will be really happy with what he sees. More home runs and RBI in September than the entire month of August so far. It's a great start. I hope he keeps it up.
Shoaib Ali, Sportsnet590 The Fan. Blue Jays Talk is still one of the more interesting radio shows in this city, and Shoaib does a great job on it. Enjoy tonight. Let's do this again. Great job.
Thanks, man. Have a great day.
You too. Shoaib Ali, Sportsnet590 The Fan. Some great talent to that radio station. I like that radio station.